Hey guys, welcome to Gregsbeerreviews today. It's Beer 30. Let's go take a walk, see what's in the fridge today. Hello everybody, welcome to Gregsbeerreviews today. I certainly do appreciate you stopping by. Today's beer, a great big bottle here. This is a 750 milliliter. This is Nebraska Brewing Company's Sexy Betty, and it is a brandy barrel aged Imperial Stout. Sounds awesome to me, guys. This was sent to me by my brother Rico. So Rico, thanks again, my brother. You send me awesome beers. Most of them are awesome. And the amount that you send me is very well appreciated, sir. Let me know when you can come back down here and let's do some beer reviews together. Drink some stuff that you can't get your hands on. Matter of fact, guys, today is the 20th of June, and I'm expecting another beer mail package from him tomorrow. And I'm expecting, I don't know how many he's going to send me, but usually what he sends me is pretty damn tasty. So by the time you see this, it'll probably be a month away. It'll probably be in July sometime, maybe even the end of July, middle to the end of July, because I'm posting 2 a day now with all the ones that Mr. Fudge sent me. But Rico is up on the game, and he knows what a good beer is and what's not a good beer. And so he usually sends me some very tasty beers. This is a big bottle, pricey. Anytime you see anything that's any kind of barrel aged, bourbon, brandy, whiskey, wine, those cost a little bit more, guys. So takes up space in the brewery, setting in the barrels for however long they decide to do it. And then they taste it occasionally, and they'll bottle it as soon as they think the beer is where they want it to be. So, fairly big beer. This is an 11%er, guys. 50 IBUs. I don't see anything as far as dating standing out on the front label. And I don't see it anywhere else on it. I would like to see a vintage barrel aged reserve series, it says, and it's bottle conditioned on top of that, and then it's set in the closet for a while. So I hope it's not going to be a gusher. A sweet nose greets the adventurous of this marriage of our Black Betty Russian Imperial Stout in a 6-month aging and 50-year-old American brandy barrel from the Black Betty base. Rich chocolate aromatics play delightfully against a coffee-like impression. An elegantly pleasant surprise wakes the palate, which migrates from a hint of brandy into a wonderfully lingering roasted malt character. So, sounds pretty good. So we got the IBUs and the ABV, and I don't know if anything is written on the bottle. It does have a sticker on the back here. It says 6013. I don't have a clue what that means. And I didn't dig out his paperwork trying to figure out when he sent it to me or if he has any additional notes. Rico, I apologize for that. But you've sent me so many wonderful beers over the years. Some of those notes have been tossed away. So let's get on with this one here, guys. This is the final beer of the evening for me, being a great big 11% barrel-aged beer. And over to Untappd, they have actually the same commercial description as what I read off the label here. So ABV and IBUs, but I'm not sure about the year. Being an 11% barrel-aged beer is probably not that critical, but I would like to see them put the vintage on it somewhere, at least the year, if not the month and the year. So and the air conditioner's kicking on, so it's probably going to kick up a little noise for you guys. I apologize for that, but it's rather warm outside. So let's get on with it and see what we got. Let's get it open and see what this brings to the table. Oh, big hits. A lot of smoke. So I had it in the closet, so it may have worked a little longer. Ooh, look at that. Very carbonated with that big hiss. As you see, it's already got almost 2 fingers of head with that, just a little bit of pour in there. So we definitely need to back out on the aggressive pour on this. So it has worked a little bit more in the bottle, but it's 11%er. A lot of times those don't do that. But it's bottle conditioned, which usually means they throw a little extra yeast in there, and I'm not going to get a whole lot more in there right now. I did not cellar it from the time I got it, which would probably stop that from working. But putting it in the closet at 70 degrees or so, it lets that yeast keep working and keep working. So glad it didn't gush all over the place there, guys. Definitely 2 fingers of head, big bubbles on the side here. So got a feeling this has been a little more additional fermentation while it's been in the bottle. And that happens when they throw a little extra yeast in there, and there's still some more fermentable sugar in there for it to work with. So big bubbles on the side here, great big bubbles. It's not a creamy looking, as you can see. I mean, great big soapy bubbles. It is a little off color. It's not white, but it is a dark beer, being an Imperial Stout. So it is what it is. So let's get it over to the light. I'm not seeing any at all, guys. It is pitch black. So let's get it to the nose and see what we got. Big roasted malt. Slight hint of some brandy in there. 11%. It doesn't have a big alcohol on the nose to me, because I'm used to drinking these bigger beers like this. If you've never had a big beer like this, or not accustomed to drinking these big monster stouts, barrel aged, it may seem a little boozy on the nose and on the taste. Smells awesome. Black molasses, slight hint of some dark fruit in there. And the brandy doesn't bring out as much on the nose than bourbon does, because bourbon's a little stronger alcohol than what the brandy is. But I can get some slight barrel notes on it, but it's not off the chain as far as a brandy or even a bourbon barrel beer would be. It smells pretty good. It really smells good. Big time roasted malt. It's got a very pleasant aroma. So let's dive in and see what we got. Cheers, everybody. Cheers, Rico. Appreciate it, my brother. Now on the taste, the roasted malt is there. Definitely getting slight hints of the barrel notes from the brandy, but the brandy is not as potent, like I said, as bourbon is when it's barrel aged. And getting some bittersweet chocolate, and some of these chocolate notes and probably dark fruit notes are going to come out a little more once we let it warm up to room temperature, and we always do. Very pleasant to drink. I'd be surprised if he actually bought this at a beer store where he's located. This may be one that he has traded for and sent to me. So hopefully he got more than one for himself and one to send to me. I didn't dig up those notes. I didn't go there, guys. And when you see these great big 750 milliliter bottles that are barrel aged, whether it's bourbon, whiskey, rum, brandy, whatever, those beers seem to be a little pricier because it is what it is, guys. That beer's taking up room in the brewery, setting in those barrels for however long they want to let it sit there till they think it's ready to be bottled. So Sure, it's not a cheap beer to buy, especially in this size bottle and being a barrel-aged version on top of that. So, Rico, thanks again, my brother. Do appreciate it. Guys, this seems to be very, very tasty. I'm not sure it's going to be a 9 or a 10 beer, but we're going to let it warm up before we make that assessment and see where it ends up. But Nebraska Brewing does some really tasty beers, guys. I can't get them here, so that's why I'm thinking maybe he did not buy it there where he lives. So it may be something that he traded for. So with that being said, we're going to go sip on it for a while and let it come up to room temperature and find out where it's going to end up. Alright guys, I'm back. I've been sipping on it for a while now. Tasty beer. Not world class or outstanding by any means, which is a little disappointing, knowing this is a great big 750 milliliter and it was a pricey beer to buy. Slightly disappointed in what I've got. Nice lacing is left on the glass. This was cellared in the closet for probably a long time, which lets the yeast keep fermenting if there's any fermentable sugars left in the beer. I think the bourbon barrel version would probably be a little tastier than the brandy barrel version of this. It's just my opinion though, guys, because the brandy is a little more subdued than the bourbon would have been. Still find it a very tasty beer. Alcohol is super well hidden. A little bit of dark fruit going on in the beer. But the brandy notes are not overpowering or anything like that. I'm not getting a lot of vanilla or coconut or anything like that from being in the barrels. So slightly disappointed in what I'm drinking here, but it is a very tasty beer. It is a well-made beer. The alcohol is very well hidden to me for an 11%er. It's very enjoyable. But like I said earlier, it's probably not a cheap beer to buy, especially in this big bottle and being a barrel-aged version. I would have thought if they did a bourbon barrel version, which I don't think they did, I'm not sure about that, they get a little more of those bourbon notes where the brandy's a little more subdued. But it is a tasty beer, well-made beer, very enjoyable beer. So, an awesome lacing is left on the glass, especially since I cellared it in the closet and let that thing keep fermenting a little bit more if there was any more fermentable sugars in there. Tasty beer. I will not take that away. I'm a big fan of Nebraska Brewing's barrel-aged versions of the beers. They do it very well. Roasted malt, hints of black molasses, maybe a little bit of dark fruit, but the brandy is not standing out to me like I think it probably should have or could have. So I don't know how long they left it in the barrels. It says 50-year-old American brandy barrels. So hopefully it was first run barrels, which means it didn't have beer in it before. But I'm not a brandy drinker. I don't drink any liquor anymore. So I'm judging out on what I get out of the beer, because I don't drink brandy or bourbon or anything like that anymore. I have to get those notes from the beer that I'm drinking, because I don't drink liquor anymore, guys. So very nice aroma, but the brandy is kind of subdued to me. Just my opinion. Final chug. A very pleasant beer to drink. Alcohol is very well hidden to me. As far as 11% goes, if I'd had this 10, 12 years ago, I may have found it a little more boozier than I do now, because I drink quite a few of these bigger beers, and I have drank a lot of these bigger beers. If I had not had a lot of these bigger beers, I may have found a little different grade scale to go with this beer. So to me, A- for me, guys. Only because it's a great big beer and it's a barrel-aged version beer and the alcohol is well hidden. So with that being said, I enjoyed this very, very much. I'm not sure that I would purchase this beer, Like I said, I'm a bigger fan of the bourbon barrel versions of Imperial Stouts than I am brandy barrel versions. But I do think it's a well-made beer. Awesome lacing, alcohol well hidden, tasty beer. Great final beer of the evening for me. So Rico, once again, my brother, I do appreciate you sending this to me. I knew and I know it's not a cheap beer to buy. So, and I'd be very surprised if you bought this at a craft beer store or a beer store. Probably something that you traded for. So I do appreciate you sending it to me. Guys, like I said, A- for me. I'm going to give this a 92. I would like to see the vintage on the label or somewhere on the bottle. I did not look, but I don't think there's anything printed on the bottle. I do not see anything. If it is, it's so dark I cannot see it on this dark brown bottle. I would like to see them put that on the label, especially if they've not done this beer before or doing it again, and if they are, that's probably one of the reasons why they don't have it on the label. They want to use that same label over and over and over again. So, if you've had it, let me know what you think. I did enjoy this. It's a very tasty beer. Over to Beer Advocate, they say 3.96. That's in the B+ range. I think it's just a tad better than that, even though it doesn't have a vintage on it. Untapped has it at 4.03. That's in their A- scale, and that's where I agree more with that than what Beer Advocate is saying. It is an A- beer. It's very tasty, well made, alcohol is very well hidden, but not getting a lot of the barrel-aged brandy notes to me. So, and brandy is not quite as powerful as a bourbon barrel-aged version would have been. So, I still enjoyed it. It's very tasty beer. So, if you've had the Sexy Betty from Nebraska Brewing Company, let me know what you think, guys. Till we meet again, let's go see what's in the fridge.